Double the noise. Let's hear it for our first storyteller, BillTorrey.
Okay. Been hotter than two rats screwing in a wool sock out there, ain't it? Okay, here we go. When I was about 10 years old, one summer day, I was out farting around with some of my friends. It was me and Dickie Hawley and Pepper Bouchard and his older brother Luke Bouchard. He was the oldest. He was kind of the ringleader. And we ended up out in Hawley's horse pasture by this great big huge old oak tree, massive tree. It sat down near the bottom of a steep hill. A few feet beyond the tree, there was a little nice brook there, and then a little bank and flat spot, and then the railroad fence and the railroad tracks. It's a huge tree. Went up about 10 feet, and then went into massive limbs going everywhere. One of which just kind of angled out and went right down by the side of that hill, just begging to be climbed. So we all shinnied up it, and we perched up in the tree there. And we got to talking about, man, wouldn't it be neat if we could get our hands on a big, long rope and hook it up in that tree limb way up there and swing down towards the railroad tracks. Well, Dickie got to think. He says, I know there's a rope, big rope, up in the rafters of our garage. Well, says Lou, what the hell you waiting for? Get your ass up there and get the son of a bitch so we can get to swinging. You see, Lou was a very proficient cusser, as long as there wasn't an adult around. He could go from longshoreman to altar boy in a heartbeat if a adult or a squealer was within earshot. Now, a squealer was usually a girl or a small kid, but you never really knew who a squealer would be until you got into some real deep shit. Well, anyway, Dickie took off, come back a little bit with the rope. Beautiful rope, big inch-thick manila rope. We got her hooked up way up in a tree there. It's probably 30 feet up in this tree. And then we tied a loop in the end of it for your foot, a foot or so off the ground, and we just kept backing up that bank and swinging. Oh, man, that was fun. And then Lou, our fearless leader, all of a sudden he runs up and he shinnies up that big limb I told you about, and he gets up on it a ways. He turns and sets down on it. He's about 10 feet off the ground. He says, toss me the rope. Well, Dickie tossed him up the rope. He says, you ain't really going to go from him. With a screaming, yee-haw! He went just a blistering down across the brook there. My God, he could just about high-five the engineer in the train when it went by. Well, next thing you know, we was all running to see who could be the next one up that limb, because, man, that was more fun than skipping rocks. It was better to ride at the fair, and it didn't cost you a dime. Well, over the course of the summer, the swinging tree became a hangout for us neighborhood kids. And it wasn't uncommon to have 8-10 kids down there, boys and girls, 6 to 16. I see fist fights and first kisses, and sometimes between the same two people. I remember the smell of cigarette smoke and the taste of a piss-warm beer. And I remember hearing new strange words and phrases that I didn't have the foggiest idea what they meant. But I was smart enough to know not to repeat them at home. But unfortunately, Kiki Fleming did not. He was only about this tall right here, and he was about 5 years old at the time, damn near invisible. And one Sunday evening, the end of the summer, his mother told him to take a bath, and he looked her right in the eye. He said, go suck a wet one, Ma. And when she grilled it out, a little rat bastard, where he'd heard such language, she got on the horn to the other parents in the neighborhood there and ended up with Mr. Hawley going down and sending his oldest boy, Buddy, to take away the rope. But one thing they can never take away is the memories I have of that swinging tree in that summer. And the feeling that you'd get right in the pit of your stomach when you'd slide your ass down off of that limb and just kind of blast down right up into that clear summer sky. And just for that brief instant, when you'd be hanging there in midair, it was almost like time was hanging right there with you. Seems that things were, ups and downs were a lot easier when you were a kid. Well, that's my story with the bark on it, guys. Thanks for hearing me out.